Hey guys, Paul here from EV Custom E-Bikes. Today we have something super special to showcase. We have the eGLOBAL COBRA. This is a high-powered electric full-size sport bike, just like the Tau Leo or the EMMO ZONE. It's packed with features, fully loaded, beautiful bike overall. So this just came into us. Big thanks to eGLOBAL, those guys, for bringing it down to us. We have a 5,000 watt motor on this bike. Like I say, this is one of the most fully loaded bikes on the market. It's a higher voltage battery. This is a LiFePO4 battery. So one thing about lithium is that there are the safety concerns versus lead acid. Let me grab that charger. Don't want to drop your chargers, guys. Don't do what I just did. So this is a 87.6 volt max bike. So you're running more power with the higher voltage, means more speed. This is running an EM100 controller. So up to 100 DC amps maximum. You can do the calculations. We'll put that up on screen of the maximum wattage. It's running a 5,000 watt QS motor. So compared to the EMMOs and the Taus, they run a 3,000 watt motor max. They're rated at 500 for legality reasons. With this one, you got a full-blown 5,000 watt high-speed motor. One thing about these bikes is the style. The style is on point. We love them. They look fantastic. So without further ado, let's just start opening this up. Okay, something interesting I just figured out when you receive this eGLOBAL COBRA, one of the sides, I assume, okay, the footrest for the rear passenger, that is underneath here in the rear passenger side. If you're wondering why your bike is shipped to you without that, that's why. It comes with the nuts and bolts for that, so that just attaches right to there, and then you can do two passengers. First thing I notice is, wow, that smells amazing. And the seats, red stitching along the seats. This seat is nothing like the EMMOs or the Taus. I haven't seen a seat this good looking yet until now. Now some plastic on the display. Wow, that was satisfying. Okay, now that all the plastic's off the bike, we're going to install that footrest, and then we're going to bring the bike outside to see how beautiful she is in the natural light. So here we are, guys. All the stickers are wrapped off the eGLOBAL COBRA. We're going to take it for a little spin. We're going to do a walk around now, show you guys all the features of this bike. So walking around this bike, noticeable feature over all the rest is that gnarly front end with those LED headlights. Now those headlights actually can go red. Do a walk around. It has very similar tires to the Tau Leo. If you notice that, some people like the design of this sort of a tire more than the EMMO ZONEs. Size-wise, very close to something like an EMMO ZONE. What's very interesting is these panels almost look like something out of a evoque. Very interesting. So coming around to the front, we have these little cutouts. Looks honestly super amazing with that LED display. A lot easier to see with the naked eye versus the camera. Pretty bright display. And then same goes for that blue and red LED taillight. I actually really like the shape of these as well. We have the eGLOBAL motor stitched in along with the red stitching on the seats. Okay guys, we're gonna do a little test drive, just a short little ride in this parking lot to see how she feels. Super tight from the factory, so no adjustments really needed. I don't know if that's just because this bike was assembled really well, but compared to some of the EMMOs and Taus I've ridden, the front end shakes. This one is solid. It's a tight bike, there's no rattling, so that's something compared to some of the other ones that I really like. So we'll just do a little POV here. All right, we'll just go on back, hit it a little bit more. Whoa! It's got good pickup. I would say, just off the bat, definitely faster than an EMMO ZONE. Would I recommend this for the power? Yes, I think this is actually one of the more powerful bikes on the market compared to the EMMO ZONE evoque or the Tau. This actually has a slight edge over all those bikes. It's not even fully charged right now. It's only at about 75 volt. We're gonna do a top speed run on this. From what I know, they can do over 100K right out of the box without any programming required. So here, guys, we have the display. You can just turn it on with the key. Does a really cool boot up animation. And then we have our gear shift select. So we have on the bottom reverse, park, low, power, drive, and then sport. I have seen the Tau Leos have, I think, just the drive and the sport, but not the low or the, the low mode. So another way you can turn on the bike is we have a lightning bolt. You double press that and you have your remote start functionality. So one interesting thing about these, you probably see this right away, is the charging port. You just press that and it pops right up. You don't have to be bending down over there or underneath the bike like some of these other ones. Very convenient. Charging port is right there. Very satisfying click with that charging port cap. So we have our hazards right here. And then we have our lighting. We have a couple of brake caps, reservoir caps, I guess, that they come from the factory to protect them. EGM, so eGLOBAL Motors, that is who manufactures this. We are one of the few dealers around. We are one of the only dealers that is a certified shop to work on these. So moving around, this is the high gloss black color. Very beautiful. There's that 5,000 watt motor in the back. License plate holder. Take a zoom up on that. Size of that wire, that this is a 5,000 watt motor. Even the side cap there, you don't see that like a normal Zone GTS motor. And one thing about this is they managed to put the pedal still on with a 5,000 watt motor.
Okay guys, so here's what the eGLOBAL COBRA looks like at night. We're just doing a little overview here of the black in the night is actually where it shines the best in terms of these cosmetics. So guys, I made this chart here to compare the eGLOBAL COBRA against all the competition. First off, price. eGLOBAL COBRA is going for $54.99 with us only. If you go online, check out some of the other places, these bikes are between 6 and 8. We don't have our locations in a mall, so our overhead is a lot less. That's why we can bring you this bike to such a great price. EMMO ZONE GTS is $56.99 normally. I believe right now they do have a discount going for $300. So that's not a bad price. For that bike, we got the Evoque R. So that one is $55.99. And then the Tau Leo is the most expensive. It's hard to get an exact definitive price online with the Tau Leo. I know a lot of dealers aren't carrying it as much anymore with the newer models. I'll go into that in a second. So moving on to the battery, this eGLOBAL COBRA has a 72 volt LiFePO 4 battery. This is a slightly different chemistry than lithium ion. So I'll explain it this way. In a battery pack, you have all different cells and they're wired together in series, it's called. With typical Li-ion batteries, lithium batteries, you have 20 of them in a row to make a 72 volt battery. For the LiFePO 4 cells, they are slightly different voltage than the lithium ion cells. They're a little bit lower of a voltage, but what they did is they made 23 in a row of these cells to actually give it a little bit of an edge here. So if you notice on a regular 72 volt bike, when you fully charge them, they go up to 84. This one goes up to 87.6. So that's why we put that there max. And so range is an interesting subject. Just put it off the bat, a lot of these manufacturers, they overclaim their range. So do not take their rated range and just, you know, go by that. It depends on a lot of factors. It depends on rider weight. It depends on how fast you're going. It depends on if it's winter out. A lot of things. So eGLOBAL says that they can go up to 160k per charge. The EMMO Zone's 120. evoque R says that they do 90 to 100 km per charge. You got to really cut the ranges in half. Unless you're going at the 32 speed, you're not going to get up to that. The Tau Leo, we're just going to assume it's the same as the Zone. They're very similar bikes, the Zone and the Leo. I couldn't find an exact number on that either. So overall watt hours and actual size of the battery, the eGLOBAL COBRA would be the biggest in terms of watt hours, so actually how much energy is in the battery. But that range, like I say, is a multiple thing, and even aerodynamics, right? Each bike to bike could be a little bit slightly different. So top speed, the eGLOBAL COBRA, we tested it. I got up to 110. I'm just going to go under that amount because all of these e-bike speedos, they overinflate their speeds a bit. It's hard to get an e-bike that has the exact accurate speed. So likely this bike can get up to 100 real GPS speed, but we're not going to guarantee that. We haven't done full testing. We're going to do another video on that. The EMMO Zones, a lot of people say they go like 80 on the speedos, but we've GPSed them. They go 70 for the new models anyway, especially for the 72 volt versions. These ones have actually less powerful controllers. They used to be a higher amperage, and now for some of the newer ones, they turn that down. The evoque, I'll say this off the bat, we've had these on in our shop especially, and these things can do, they honestly range. It's been really weird. It depends on the tuning of the controller with these evokes. I've had ones come in that only do like 65. If you have a technician that knows how to tune these bikes, they can go in remotely, and if you tune them up enough, there's a setting, it's called flux weakening, and you can actually turn that up and get those bikes up to about 85 is what we found. Tau Leo, very similar to the Zone. I know at one point they used to have more powerful controllers than the Zone. That isn't the case anymore. It seems like they're the same controller. I could be wrong. I would go to Ride the Wind e-bikes for that info. They have all the new models. So moving on to style, eGLOBAL COBRA over here definitely gets a golden mark there. You know, different looking bike. EMMO ZONE GTS and Tau Leo are very similar. And then in terms of style, the evoque is definitely it gets a lot of looks. It looks different. It is subjective. I find myself, I like the eGLOBAL COBRA over everything else. The evoque's okay, but being that it has a plastic tank and it just doesn't feel as premium as like the eGLOBAL COBRA. So battery longevity and safety. Moving back to when we talked about that battery, the LiFePO4 battery. So LiFePO4 has a couple of very special properties. The first one being safety. If you know on the news, we just got to talk about this, but they can be prone to fires if it's a poorly made battery. I know that EMMO and from what I know, they do very good quality batteries, but these things can happen. If you want the safest battery possible, if you're bringing this up to your apartment, the LiFePO4 cells, you can look it up on Google. They are one of the most safe chemistries that you can get. So that is definitely something to consider. Longevity as well is the second very important thing about LiFePO4. These cells are a little bit more expensive, but they last a whole lot longer. So on most batteries, they have rated charge cycles from the manufacturers. LiFePO4 cells on average, you're going to get anywhere between 1,000 and 3,000 charge cycles. It depends on the particular cell that's used. The manufacturers don't usually give that information. For lithium ion, you've got between 400 and 1,000 charge cycles on average before the battery will need to be replaced. So overall, if you want a battery that's going to last a long time, I would say the eGLOBAL COBRA is the way to go. So guys, if you want the eGLOBAL COBRA, you can go ahead and contact us. You can check it out on our website. If you have any more questions about it, can contact us. We are having this available for $5,500, shipping available everywhere, with financing available for a limited time. We're not sure how long we're going to have it on for $5,500, but after a bit the price may go back up again slightly. It won't be raised tremendously, but it will go up. This is only a special we're running for now. So yeah, guys, if you're interested in the eGLOBAL COBRA, feel free to come down or put any questions down in the description. Okay, guys, have a good one. Bye.